What's the dark side of the beauty industry?
In Bangalore, I notice even if you're oily skin or dry skin, the weather here is really humid and really hot. So you have to prepare for that a lot as well.
You suggest makeup and nails is a good decent starting point?
There are some products that are OG for me. You know, it does not matter what trend is going on, I'm going to stick by them.
Entrepreneurship is not always cakewalk. They say for some, it's a roller coaster ride.
Don't do it because it's in trend. Trends wear off.
Are there any specific do's and don'ts here usually in that phase after you complete the course?
Eventually, people come to you for your skill, not for your product.
Like India calls them beauticians. Why is it the outside world calls them cosmetologists?
Very important for a makeup artist to understand is the personality and the style of their customers.
Why is that Korea has led the market when it comes to skincare products, in your opinion?
Most people get in this industry thinking that they'll start making 1 lakh like the most popular makeup artist is.
And I wanted to make sure that we give a platform to people who don't speak English as their first language. I wouldn't say they're leading the market, but I think they're just educating the market that this option is available for you. I would say just do a little bit of research before you put anything that social media is telling you to put on or like Google is telling you to put on. If we could go to Canada and pick up on English, then definitely we could come home and pick up on Kannada as well. So I would like to do that.
This podcast was recorded in English as the common language between the guest, Jasreen, and me, the host, was English alone. Didn't want to spend much time in me asking questions in Kannada, she trying to decode it while the flow was getting cut, because conversations are extremely spontaneous, isn't it? Thank you so much for your love and support and understanding. Sit back and enjoy our conversation. Thank you. If you have ever used makeup in life, this video is for you. If you have ever been to a, beauty salon, this video is for you. If you're still wondering what is the difference between cosmetology and a beautician, this video is definitely for you. And lastly, of course, if you're looking to have a career as a cosmetologist, as a beautician, want to run a salon, want to get educated, and be a beautician like India would like to call, this video is definitely for you. Welcome to another episode of Just Curious, guys, here in the studio. Very happy to welcome Jasreen Ryan, a self-made businesswoman and celebrity makeup artist. In fact, the first thing that I saw when it said celebrity makeup artist, I wanted to know, who have you worked with? And the name that popped up was, oh, really? Like Diljit. When you mentioned Diljit and the recent tour, the Illuminati that happened in Canada.
Yes.
You were the makeup artist for him, and you're a cosmetologist yourself and a beauty educator, and mostly very curious to explore your journey because you run a college in Canada with over 1,500 plus women who've gotten 10,000 hours plus training under you as cosmetologists. So everything that beauty stands for and the beauty industry can do to the audience, plus, as a beauty educator, here I am exploring your journey to see more cosmetologists coming out. Firstly, Jasreen, welcome to Just Curious. How are you?
Thank you. I'm really good. How are you?
Very well. So I was told while we were discussing before the cameras went rolling, so you have a college in Canada which is GD College.
Yes.
And the same college is now going to get opened in Bangalore, which is going to train women, men who are wanting to be makeup artists and cosmetologists, right?
Yes.
So firstly, I'm going to ask this doubt, like India calls them beauticians. Why is it the outside world calls them cosmetologists?
I think it's just a glorified way of saying that you're a beautician. It's locally, I hear this a lot, but over there we call them cosmetologists, we'll call them estheticians. So it's just a glorified way of saying it.
All right. So firstly, I want to pick on Diljit first. I mean, usually celebs are very picky and choosy about, what gets on their face, what gets into their skin or under. So obviously you live in Canada. You come here once in a while.
Yeah, once in a while.
That while can be once a year, twice a year.
Actually, this is the first year that I've come in third time. Usually I come once in like 3-4 years.
So mostly your roots are in Canada, right?
Yes.
So how did you meet Diljit?
Actually, I worked with a lot of different Punjabi celebrities before getting to his team. So I did a lot of music videos with them, and that's how I kind of got to the Illuminati tour, and then that's how I kind of landed that.
Today, the man is making the world dance to his tunes. Just wanted to understand his side when it comes to understanding his skin, and usually it's a stereotype. Women are more worried about their looks, the makeup, the clothes that they wear. So, is it true when it comes to Diljit? Is he easy maintenance or is he high maintenance? What is he like?
I think most celebrities are, they take really good care of their gut health. They eat very healthy. That's usually my mantra as well, that whatever you put in your body will show on your face. So they're very particular on what they eat, what kind of workout they do, and they have a lifestyle and a routine to follow. And that's how it kind of comes out to their skin.
So, it is true when they say you're what you eat.
Yes, very, very true.
So the first makeup that has to be done is in the gut is what you feel. As in the you have to feed it well, you have to eat right.
Yes, you have to eat right.
But here we are. We just look at the exteriors, when it comes to beauty. We have buzzwords like, glass skin and then whatnot, which keeps popping up here and there. So, turning back the conversation to what you experienced with Diljit. So, how much time did he give for the makeover, and how much time would you need to, I don't want to say doll up, but I don't know what to say for a man.
Let's say enhance their beauty. So we usually give it 10 to 15 minutes when we're doing male makeups because it's really easy. There's not much to do. It's just they require a clean, flawless base, and they don't want to be sweaty when they're performing, and they want an even skin tone. So it doesn't take too long to do a male makeover usually.
So not sweaty, even
Skin tone?
skin tone.
Yeah.
So since being a radio jockey, my words and my thoughts were my biggest makeup,
Yes.
and my voice, of course. But the minute I started coming in front of the camera, this year I think at least I've put on makeup for maybe more than 60 to 70 days, which is probably the highest in my life so far. So with this, my understanding of makeup, I came closer to the products. There is one product called Beauty Box, Smashbox,
Smashbox, yes.
Smashbox, which basically gives you that no blur.
Easy blur, so like even skin tone.
So
Good
I know
coverage.
of a product like that. So when you spoke about not sweaty and even skin tone, any products that you have which is like your secret sauce type?
A good primer is very important when you're doing your makeup, especially in Bangalore. I notice even if you're oily skin or dry skin, the weather here is really humid and really hot. So you have to prepare for that a lot as well. So really good primer, a full coverage matte foundation, and just lock it with a good powder.
So good primer. These days you have too many products, right? Too many categories. So how do you pick? How do you believe in a product?
I usually test them on myself before I start putting them on my customers. So usually, as you're speaking about trends, right? Instagram is full of trends. I see social media has this glass skin going on. So every few months, things are always changing. But I believe that there are some products that are OG for me. It does not matter what trend is going on. I'm going to stick by them. And Chanel is one of those brands. Like I can just close my eyes and I know her foundations work amazing on skin, right? And I think if you're looking for something, a good normal price range, then MAC is really good for foundations as well. But it totally depends on what your need is. Like if you are in camera lights all day, the makeup you require will be very different because this heat is always radiating on you, right? Now if you sit in an office which is fully air conditioned and it does not have much lighting, then you can go ahead with light makeup as well. You don't need to keep doing touch-ups all day. So it just depends on the environment you're in.
So one is the environment, and second category is the OGs of the category. Some brands like Chanel, MAC. So how do you handle conflicts? Every market goes through it. there are Mac fans, there are Chanel fans, and now there is a conflict, on the review system going on, saying that this is this is that.
I think with being a makeup artist and being an educator, something I've noticed is that eventually people come to you for your skill, not for your product, because they love the way the makeup actually looks when you do it, and they love how long it lasts, and they love how they look on camera. And I think some people just love, when other people are complimenting them, their husbands are appreciating them. So it comes to a point where your skill will speak louder than the products you use.
I couldn't agree more. I mean, it's not what atta you use to make chapatis. It is what chapati you made out of the atta that was given to you.
Yes.
It's like how skillfully were you able to execute it.
Yes.
So bringing my question rather to the next point, which is, of course, you are running a government recognized career college in Canada. So far you've educated 1,500 plus women. And harvesting over 10,000 plus hours of training. So I'm really curious to know, what happens in your college. It's GD college. Because, see, the normal college, everybody knows the structure as to, art, science. But I don't know what happens in a beauty college.
Yes.
And firstly, the concept of beauty college itself is so new to India. As in, I'm sure there are 100 colleges. These are definitely a handful.
So, yes, we run it like an educational system. We don't just go ahead and start teaching looks and whatever is trending. We have a very strict curriculum set. And honestly, once you sign up, you will get a calendar, which is every hour's detail is given to you. So if your course is 800 hours, every hour is detailed out. Like this hour you'll do this, these 2 hours is dedicated for this. Your coffee breaks are scheduled to the T. So we really focus on the time that you come to school is spent well. So we make sure that the money you're spending with us, you get the worth of it. And I want to make sure that whoever is getting education is, so confident once they go out that they're able to perform those skills. So that's usually like my number one priority, because I have learned this skill. I have worked in retail. I've worked in every job that you can think of, from restaurants to cafes to retail to clothing, then moving into makeup, right? So I have done that all. I have done freelancing, brides, celebrities, I've been on music videos. So I want to make sure that my students are very comfortable once they walk out of the college.
So, the course that you're talking about, does this also involve online course, or is it the one that happens at the college that you just spoke about?
There is different options. So it depends on what you are planning to study. Some things we require you to come in person, and some things you can do online. So I would personally prefer if there is services being learned. Let's say if you're learning how to do nails, we ask our students to come in person, because we want to make sure that the instructor is watching what they're doing. Yeah.
As we speak, you just got the nail care talk going. I was told nail care is the fastest growing sector.
Yes.
In the beauty industry, generating around the report says $6 billion annually. Could you walk us through the courses that you all have in college? Is it a course like a BCom, for example, or like an MBA, which has multiple things going in it? Likewise, what is it for the beauty school that you're talking about, beauty college?
So we have a course that is like condensed, and you can study a lot of factors in that, from permanent makeup to regular makeup to aesthetics. And it includes nails, lash extensions, microblading. So it's like a condensed course for somebody who wants to explore cosmetology, all of it together. And then you can take it in smaller portions. So if you don't have the funds, or if you don't want to just, jump right into it, you're not sure about the industry, right? Maybe just take makeup, maybe just take nails. So that's a personal choice they can make. Like they can take smaller portions, and they can also take it all together as well.
So for a starter, who's just sitting on the fence, trying to understand, where's my starting point. So you suggest makeup and nails is a good, decent starting point?
I would suggest see what you want to do more. I love makeup to this day. I've learned a lot of things, but till this day, I can do makeup whenever. I'm really passionate about skincare, nutrition. That's, one of my passions. So I would suggest, follow your passion. Don't do it because someone else has told you to. You put your heart into what you want to do.
Or don't do it just because it's in trend.
Yeah, don't do it because it's in trend. Trends wear off.
So you are the trendsetter. The trend is sitting here.
Yes.
Set it right by giving into it.
Yes.
All right. So you did speak about the course, which is a masterclass which has multiple layers, multiple verticals in it, or you have individual verticals going on as separate sessions. And these are all full-time,
Courses.
just like the course wherein it's like a college, you have to come every day. What's the duration of the course?
So there's full-time and part-time options. If you do them full-time, you finish faster. If you do them part-time, it can take you up to a year to finish because you're only investing 2 days. But in Canada, people work full-time and they are sometimes picking up this skill on the side. So we do offer weekend classes, weeknight classes, and we'll do the same here as well for people who are working and wanting to do something on the side. We'll cater to both.
So looking at your journey, self-made businesswoman, celebrity makeup artist, cosmetologist, and a beauty educator. There is a journey there. You started as a makeup artist and now a cosmetologist, finally an educator. Being an educator, the intention probably speaks volumes, because it's not about who you are, it's not about the success you had, it's also about something that you have to give back. Now, what are these triggers that you had to think of being a beauty educator through this college called GD College?
The first time I thought, like growing up, I didn't think that I would have a college or I wanted to explore fashion for sure. I knew from day one, like I was 17 when I became a makeup artist. I am not so old I'm 31 right now, right? And I've been doing this for 15, 16 years. I was very sure that I want to do something in beauty, fashion. That was very clear to me. Education came to me when, I was doing a lot of makeups. And people used to be like, we want to learn from you because you're so good at this. I would just come learn from you, Jas, even if you don't give me a certificate. And I really wanted to open a door for women to come learn. And I think in Canada, when I started, there wasn't a lot of colored people representing colleges. And I wanted to make sure that we give a platform to people who don't speak English as their first language. So that was really important to me. And that's why I'm in India, because I want to make sure that, there's so many people who want to learn this, but maybe just don't have the confidence to go to someone. And I want to bring that platform where they feel comfortable coming and learning. And I really wanted to give back to the community because I think, if women have a little bit of skill on their hand, they have more confidence. It's not always about, making more money or having a bigger share on the table. It's sometimes just being confident with what you do. And I think when we spend time doing what we love, we always feel better about ourselves too.
It's not just consuming always, it's also through the journey, some awakening calling into you, giving it back.
Yes.
So those triggers in here has organically happened from people appreciating your skill and saying that, hey, teach that to me. So that trigger has further led into that getting into a seat of which you
Yes.
got it out through a college.
Yes.
And other side is when you saw the colored people not having a voice, you wanted to be the voice
Yes.
through which they can find their expression.
Yes. And my mom always said, you are meant to do extraordinary things. I think she had a bigger dream than I did growing up for myself. So she was very motivating. Even to this day, she's always telling me what to do next. And she's a part of my business. So she's an amazing woman. And I think she plays a huge role in my life.
Glad to see some strong women around you.
Yes.
Taking more work out of you, empowering, other women out there. So we did get to know the inspiration now. Now diving into the next part. How was the early experience at the college? Because, life and journey has a way of refining our skills, our understanding,
Yes.
as the years pass. Only if you're ready to let that happen.
Yes. I think the first year when I was starting the college, in Canada, it's very different. you don't just get up and say I want to start a college. You have to go through a full government process, right?
Oh, yeah?
So in that you have to submit your curriculums. Why would you want to start this when there's other colleges offering that? What would you do differently? How would you support the market? We have to send like a whole job market report, like how it would give back and how would it create more jobs, right? So, and then you have to go through like health and safety, fire inspection, so much other stuff that comes in play. And it took me almost 9-10 months to get that sorted, right? And I think we dished out every dollar that we had. We went as immigrants. It's not like, my parents were like super rich that they just had money to pour. So they moved from India to Canada for a better lifestyle, right? So they wanted to make sure that we're able to set up something. So they did everything they could. And as soon as I got licensed, 2 months later, COVID came and everything was shut. And I was like, what did I do to myself? I didn't know how to pay next month's rent. I didn't know how to pay my credit cards, what to do now. Of course, you all of a sudden can't sell because there's restrictions due to COVID. You have to shut your business, right? And I think that was a very good learning phase of my life where I learned that divine has a plan for you. And you just have to sometimes close your eyes and accept it and walk on it. And I think as soon as I accepted that right after COVID, things just almost fell in place. It was just like God's magic that came together and everything started going back to business. And here I am 5 years later.
Since you used a sentence which said, all the last dollar that I had was put in out of curiosity and also wanting to show what the future can be for other women watching us. Is there a number that one can think of when you have to start a college like this?
Don't think of a number, because once you start thinking of that number, you'll put a lot of your energy trying to collect that money. If there is something you want to do and you think you have the skill for it and you have the faith to do it, just close your eyes and do it. Trust me, everything in the universe will work towards getting that done. They say in Hindi, जब आप किसी चीज़ को बहुत शिद्दत से चाहते हैं तो पूरी कायनात उसको आपको देने की वो पूरी try होती है, right? So just close your eyes and do it. That would be my advice.
Yeah, because entrepreneurship is not always cakewalk. They say for some, it's a roller coaster ride. So since you've been there, done that, so is that your word of advice?
Yeah, it is definitely a roller coaster. And in businesses, there is busy times and there's really slow times. And you're still responsible to pay rent. You're still responsible to pay your employees and taxes and other things, right? But I feel like if you don't go through that, how will you appreciate your good times? You have to go through a curve in life,
You have to go through darkness to appreciate
light. Yes, that's truly what it is. I think it's a phase, and I appreciate every time, something goes wrong, because it's a lesson for me to learn to have a better tomorrow.
I've been observing this from the first question that I did throw. I meet a lot of people. Everybody has a different style of answering it back, tackling things, tackling questions. So I see a lot of confidence and I see a lot of structure in the way you always approach things. Having said that, though there is the heart which talks about all the vision, passion, fire that in you, there is always the structure which is around it, which is trying to keep that in place, is what I see when you're talking. From a place of what you represent today and what you've felt so far through the journey of educating 1,500 plus women and helping them launch their careers as cosmetologists. Now, how can we bridge that to India? Because here, the whole demographics, will I be assuming when I make a statement saying probably it is very different here, or is it? How different is, the cosmetology in India, in your understanding, versus what it is in the outside world?
I think it is different. And, different may be an understatement. And the reason I say that is because I see a lot of people who migrate from India and Pakistan and other countries, and they come to Canada, and then they have certificates from these countries of cosmetology, and then they bring it to us to upgrade because those certificates are not valid. in other countries. They have to go upgrade their education. So even if you're a doctor from India, you still have to go upgrade your education before you're recognized as a doctor in another country. I think I want to represent India globally, that we don't have to take our certificates and get it done again. Because when people come from foreign, they don't come give exams here to, start their career. They're
Right.
appreciated all of a sudden. And I want India to be appreciated for that. I want our people to have that, if they study in India, it should be accepted globally. And that's the change I want to bring.
So one is on the certification level as to there is always that, internationally accredited, is that the word? So that is something that you're trying to normalize.
Yeah.
Like what's there is here, what's here is also accepted outside. That is
Yes.
through GD college. Now, secondly, how does one understand, how do I tap into the market? Because beauty is a big industry. And do you have a number as to
$1 trillion.
cosmetology?
They say it's $1 trillion industry, cosmetology, like from products
So
to
this is a
services.
global number?
Yeah.
All right. So when it comes to India, what was your initial key learnings and understandings of the industry here?
This is my second time in Bangalore that I'm exploring this industry, and I had this thought that I want to educate women in India. And something I noticed is that the education part of it is missing.
What do you mean?
Like, I sometimes feel like I'm seeing models, I'm seeing people who have they use makeup on daily basis, and now they have like these bacterial acne going on, some infections going on their face because the hygiene protocol is missing, or the standards are not set right for beauty industry. There is nobody who goes and inspects salons on daily, monthly basis to make sure they're set to a regular standard. I go to salons to get services and I see people don't wear gloves, and I might just be being picky here, but I think that education I really want to bring, where it's a myth that wearing makeup makes me break out if I wear it daily, because I do wear it daily almost for work, because I represent this and I take care of my skin. I eat healthy and usually my skin does amazing. You just have to find the right products to use on you, right? But getting back to that point, I do want to make sure that that education part is delivered really well.
So this was the initial feeler of what the beauty industry is in India. So now you see gaps, hygiene protocols being,
Yeah.
a little void probably, and salons, hygiene, and all of that. How are you visioning to fill this?
My curriculum will help students, not just my GD college's curriculum will help students kind of come up with a protocol that is safe for everybody. And I want to set hygiene standards, I want to set cosmetology standards, and that'll happen through making it an educational curriculum instead of just these 10 looks are trending, let's teach this. And I want to make sure that they're, first of all, they should know why they want to take makeup, cosmetology. And even if it's as simple as this, that I want to make some extra money on the side, and this is, I don't have money to go get education, or I don't have the funds to go do something else, or while I become a doctor, maybe this is something I could do part-time. I want to support that, but I want to make sure that the foundation is set really well for it.
I could be assuming here, but I see in India, somebody who wants to make a career choice. Probably the first few careers are always the engineers, doctors, or an MBA, or an high paying job. At the same time, something which has security. But I'm not sure if this is the same lens through which the rest of the world looks at. Somebody wants to do something for a living. It's not the high paying job that comes somewhere. It is always that what is that I love is something that probably comes. So do you agree?
You are very right. Not just here, globally, I notice that people don't take this as their first career choice. It's usually like, okay, let me become a doctor, let me be an engineer or something else, right? I do want to, if this is something you love, then I think you should not be afraid of making this your first choice. I made it my first choice. I was 17 when I started makeup, right? And I was studying accounting on the side as well, because my parents were also like, you should study something. My relatives were very questionable. They're like, everybody has good jobs, they're all settled engineers, they're doctors, and you're choosing makeup, like, kind of what's wrong with you, right? So I want to make sure that if you love doing something, then why can't you choose it as your first choice? You just have to make sure that you're successful in it, you're able to, make good money to survive in it, and that will come through your skill set.
It's the liking towards a profession eventually which should give you money. So now looking at cosmetology as a course and the kind of monies that one can see in it, is it very different when it comes to India and what it is outside India?
No, I think India is also very global that way. Like, I notice a lot of global brands are here and people are making good, decent money in cosmetology here as well. There's some really good salons. There's some really good makeup artists that are charging like upwards of 1 lakh and above. So I think that's very global here as well. If you're doing really well, you're able to make that kind of money here as well.
So the number that you just gave, is it per session or is it a month you're talking about? Because there's also celeb makeup artists.
Yeah, it might be different. I've noticed that some makeup artists here can charge that for just a wedding. Like,
right.
Especially like celebrity makeup artists, right? So they can charge upwards of that just for a wedding.
Right, just
Yeah.
for a session or the whole package. So
Yes.
So the kind of monies that one can see through cosmetology, let's say it's around 1 lakh.
We wouldn't put that number. Like, some people can make way more than
Way
that as
more
well.
or
And
way
then
less?
some way less as well. So it just depends how you place yourself.
Just to understand where I can place myself and where do I stand a chance. Should I go through a course and how do I pick the right course? And later, how do I get placed?
So
What's the journey
first,
like?
first choose what you really want to do and then pick the right educational platform for it, right? Don't rush into it. Don't take it because somebody else is just saying take this. Do your research, and now there's so many research platforms available. Do your research, visit these facilities, and then see which one makes you feel like home. Do that course, and while you're doing that course, start setting up in your mind that what are you going to do after you graduate. That's usually where there's a miss, because people are just in the course and they're just like grooving through it, and then all of a sudden they graduate and they're like, what do I do now? So plan that while you're in that course, maybe making a portfolio, maybe making the right connections. Schools usually have a lot of like brands come in and do these meetings and seminars. Make sure you're putting yourself in the right places as well, and then start doing a job research right when you're about to graduate, and make sure that you know what kind of job you want. And then wherever you get placed, start, absorb, learn, and you'll grow. I was a makeup artist's assistant in my first year, and I learned so much by just being, helping her pack up her stuff or clean her brushes or just do some lashes for her. And there was so much learning curve just by absorbing what she was doing. I never thought, oh my God, I just have to come here and do this. I was like, what is she doing? What are people liking about what she does? How does she tackle questions when people are like, I don't like this eyeliner, I don't want this lipstick? Or there's times where people don't want to pay you because they're like, oh my God, I am in a rush, I gotta go, right? So how does she, that's very important, is how absorb everything around you and then prepare. And trust me, like once you have a scheduled plan for it, things work out.
So nicely put. These things the colleges can't teach you. These things only
Yes.
an experience
Yeah.
can tell you. Or probably a person who's done that can so openly say, hey, this is what I did, this worked for me, maybe this will work for you, try it out.
Yeah.
All right. So far now we spoke about the attitude to have. We did speak about after the course the possibilities, right? So here either you can be an artist yourself, makeup artist, you can be a cosmetologist, you can probably start your own salon, probably you can also be a beauty educator. So how does one know, I mean, apart from the gut feeling and then whatever your calling is, are there any specific do's and don'ts here usually in that phase after you complete the course?
Usually I would say, if you are in the beginning getting a job, I would say take that job before you start your own independent practice, because it'll teach you a lot of things and it'll save you from making a lot of mistakes and it'll help you perfect your skill. And then also while you're, going through this journey, choose choose to do things that will take you to the right path. Don't just start taking every job that comes in your way as well. Be a little picky as well. See what that job can teach you, especially when you work in retail, right? Work for a good brand if you can. They will give you education on makeup. They'll give you education on how to serve clients. They'll help you in the long run a lot.
I think we did crack up a conversation wherein, before we started this, there were 5 people in the studio and I was like, oh, this is so nice, because usually when we see guests here, we just see one of them accompany them. Or probably sometimes they just come alone.
Yeah.
So when I make these observations, I was like, oh, this is the person, who's gotten this gang here, which means to say there's something in her that, a lot more than, what a job can give them. And I think that also speaks volumes. So with the setup in Bangalore, GD College, what is exciting you and challenging you the most?
Exciting is, of course, teaching, educating people, making sure they're set up the right way to graduate and to land good jobs and to offer a community of people who are really skillful. That's, one of my drivers till this day is educating people, right? And the challenge is definitely, it's a place where I don't speak the language. And I am starting to pick up on it. In the last 40 days, I think if I close my eyes and someone's talking, I'm able to get a gist of what they're saying. And I would love to learn the language eventually now with time, because if I come here more often and there's people who do not speak Hindi or English, I do want to be able to help them as well. And if we could go to Canada and pick up on English, then definitely we could come home and pick up on Kannada as well. So I would like to do that. So that's where my challenge is. And then, of course, migrating through a different India. India is very different right now from when I left almost 18-20 years ago. It's busy. There's a lot of traffic. The culture is completely changed, right? So they're just migrating through those little things on daily basis.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, I am a proud Indian and I'm excited to come home and do this for my people.
That's nice. Could you walk us through the team? Is the college already set up in Bangalore?
It's getting set up.
So how big is the college? What's the strength it can accommodate?
We'll probably looking to accommodate at least 40 to 50 students every group.
Mm-hmm.
I want to keep it smaller, not too big, so that I can give attention to detail and I can see what my students are doing every time we do a group. And I want to make sure that they get quality education. I don't want to just fill up batches and graduate them. I want to keep it small so they have attention of our time.
So, since I've worked with many makeup artists, there are very, individual run cults. For example, if there's a popular makeup artist, just by word of mouth, that just goes out, and then eventually she has started an institute, and then every 45 days there's a batch running, and then I think if I can just quote a number right now in Bangalore, a popular makeup artist would probably charge $1.5 for the course. So with this indication, just wanted to understand, I'm sure you would have done this market research as to what's happening here and who are the players.
Yeah.
So where do you look at yourself? Where do you place yourself?
I don't think I'm worried about what other people are doing. Definitely they're doing the best for themselves and they're serving their own community. I am here to educate women and make sure that they're skilled, and I'm here to support them. That's my biggest take on this. So, I come from a very different world right now. Canada is different than India, and we grew up very differently because we grew up with immigrant parents there, right? So definitely coming to India is going to be a little bit challenging. And then I think that no restaurant would open up if they thought there's already enough restaurants.
Right.
So I think there's enough pie for everybody on the
I
table.
think
Yeah.
that's a good attitude to have. Always there is space for everybody.
Yes.
So with the beauty industry spreading its wings, it's just growing today. What skills should women be watchful of to hone it on or hone it further?
Yes, it's a budding business right now. I see a lot of salons are coming up, even in Western world. Like Botox and filler was not so easily acceptable 5 to 7 years ago, almost 10 years ago, and now like it's common. Even dentists are doing Botox for you, and it like I think our moms are comfortable to go get it done, especially in the Western world. And I noticed that here as well, a lot of people like commonly get these things done, right? So we have to understand that how accepting this is becoming. That means the market is growing. More people are going to want to have this done to themselves. More people would get these procedures done. So of course it's a huge market now.
What skills should one keep an eye on?
So skills, definitely, like whatever you're going to choose in the beauty industry, nails, makeup, of course work on polishing that skill. And one more skill would be patience. Just have a little bit of patience. It takes time. Your mom will make better sabji than you any day because she has that much experience, right? So you have to have patience to get experience. Like the first time your mom can give you ingredients, she can stand right there and her curry will always taste better than yours because of the experience. So have that patience to get that experience. Sometimes we just don't have that patience to kind of go through that curve in life, right? So I always say just be patient and do your work.
So do you guys have any model wherein we've seen any industry grow big when it is corporatized?
Hmm.
Like today we've seen Nyka's coming in. Like what used to be a beauty store, fancy store in India has now become a supermarket or a mini market wherein this is just your beauty products waiting you there. And today you don't even have to go there. It's all digitalized. Digitized, and then forget Nykaa. Probably today a Zomato and Swiggy is also delivering you lipsticks.
Oh God, Zepto, talk about it. Like I was so shocked the day I landed and my team was like, okay, if you need anything in the morning, water, milk, you can just Zepto it, it'll come in 6 minutes. I'm like, for real?
So with this, I think slowly we've always seen the product side of it. It's all digitized and there's a huge funding coming in, there's a huge company running it. But often we see gaps in the services side.
Yeah.
So do you see the beauty industry, the skills that, the colleges are trying to pass on, through which the people are also going to help women or men, look better, feel better. So do you see that anytime soon?
Wake up to fresh ideas. Repose.
I think it's already happening, like I notice here as well that they're, of course they want to sell you the product because they're on commission, but now they know what they're talking about, they'll recommend you some right stuff. And I think with more education coming in, especially if we have curriculums which teaches them how to work outside in retail and what to expect when you're working in those kind of places. I have worked in, a place like Nykaa in Canada. It has it's called the Bay. It sells numerous amount of cosmetology products. So it has counters of different brands, right? So I've represented that, and it requires a different kind of skill set, at that point as well. But I think once you genuinely care about what the other person wants and you hear it right, you're able to deliver that. And just teaching that is very important as well. Like in schools, like, if somebody's there to ask for a foundation, like of course, they want to make sure that their skin has coverage and their skin is even. So make sure you match her the right foundation, you make sure you suggest her concealer as well, or foundation always needs a powder on top. You can't just wear foundation and go, it's gonna look sticky and oily, right? So recommending that powder is very important as well. So I think that education is happening. In another 10 years it'll really change.
Any word of caution or advice for the world out there? Because today Insta is a doctor, Insta is a beautician,
I swear.
Insta is a dietitian, Insta is probably God, everything is Insta. Just a random example, Insta being Insta. How does one sanitize or probably pause and say, ki, hey, wait, where is the source? What to believe, what not to believe? How do you put the filter?
I laugh about this a lot. I say in my school always, I'm like, don't just follow University of Social Media, guys. Follow education. There is step-by-step instructions for everything. So I think if you go back to the roots of everything, if you go back to the educational side of it, you will be on the right path. Definitely, as you're saying, it is right. Some people are like, do this. Some people are like, don't drink hot water. Some people are like, drink hot water in the morning. And some people are like, drink hot water with lemon. There is a market for all that because everybody's body is different. Everybody's skin is very different, right? What I wear on myself, it might not suit you or it might not suit my team. So there might be a fit that you'll find for yourself. There is answers for everybody, but just you have to understand that what's your skin type, what's your body type, and then the person who's talking, are they talking from that perspective or not?
I want to now pick your brains on some of these skin fads. What do you
Sure.
think of it? You've seen the trend where the rice water was used as
Brightening.
for brightening, and as a product which also spoke about, I don't know, softening the skin, making you look younger. I don't know. What do you think of these?
I think we have a lot of dadi ke nuskes for beauty and they work really well. Like our dadis really knew what they were doing.
One
Just
was
don't...
the
the besan haldi and the dahi. So those things are really magical if you like look at the right aspect of it. But I would say just do a little bit of research before you put anything that social media is telling you to put on or like Google is telling you to put on. Like make sure that you do a little bit of research, do a little bit of testing. Don't just do it all over your face before you have a reaction. Maybe just do it on the corner and see how it responds to you. So that would really help. But I always ground to my roots. I think, Indian food is one of the best foods. Like it's so nutritious, it's so well balanced, and I have studied nutrition and I understand the importance of eating right? And I do believe in a little bit of nuskas here and there. And I've had really bad cough, and I think the only thing that is saving me is like hot water, honey, outside of cough syrups and English medicine. Like, I think the Ayurvedic side of it is really good.
Any one hack of Dadi that you would like to remember again, which is a beauty thing that you believe works apart from besan?
Yes, I think lemon, a little bit of olive oil and sugar exfoliation works really good, especially after a hot day. Like your neckline, your arms, your body, just like, it kind of like gives you a really nice exfoliation, a bit of brightening. So that is one of my favorites.
How
Or
often should you do this?
once a week is really good.
Okay.
Mhm. And sometimes I do this, if you've heard of flax seeds.
Yeah.
So flax seeds, you kind of put them in the water, a little bit of water and flax seeds,
Get
like maybe
slimy?
like slimy. Put it over your face and let it dry. And trust me, you'll feel like you just had Botox done to your face. Sometimes I do that before I'm going on an event, so my face looks very tight and depuffed.
Thanks, yeah. I think people were definitely bored of these ice cubes
Yeah,
and keeping it.
it's cold.
So flax seeds and water. It is.
Make a jelly paste and apply it.
Tell me one thing. A personal story here. There was this documentary called Buy Now. I'm not sure if you've seen it. It's on Netflix. It spoke about the consumer mentality. Some as to how these corporations control, manipulate you as to what to buy, when to buy. The smallest example, which is my favorite, is, they introduce a new phone model into the market every year. Naturally, a phone won't, die for 4 or 5 years. But every year, when the new product comes into the market, you feel, okay, is mine obsolete or should I change it? So likewise, if I have to put this to the beauty category, I mean, I don't know, like the latest trend I remember, I don't even know if that is the latest one. The snail...
Mucin, yeah.
snail mucin. So when new trends come in, a person naturally feels, okay, now does my skin needs this? I mean, is my skin wanting this? Should I try this? Should I give in? So I don't know. The corporations are trying to control with new theories. Could be for money making, or I don't know what it is from their perspective. But from my perspective, I always feel, FOMO. Am I missing it? So
Yes.
how does one balance this?
I think we live in a world where data is sold, in a way that before they launch a product, there's a lot of research that is done. It's not just launched just like that. Okay, I came with this idea, let me launch this product. Good corporations do a lot of research before they bring out this product.
Anything
right?
that you've seen, like because in beauty we have Huda.
Yeah.
I mean, being an artist herself, eventually launched. But the same doesn't work for India. I mean, to some extent, probably Katrina has managed to do with K, I guess. Again, I've been told she's hired
A team to do it.
a team who understands beauty market, and she's just the face. Probably same with Deepika. I'm not sure. I mean, she has her own skincare line, and then
Yeah.
I mean, so firstly, you're talking about how they do our R&D, and then from our side, from the consumer side, what's the kind of antennas that should be up, to see, hey, what is this doing to me? Do I need this? And who validates it?
So I think first of all, see what your concern is. What is your concern to your skin?
And
Do you have
I
acne?
don't even know, is that
Do you
a
have
concern?
acne? Do you
No.
want your skin to look brighter? Do you want your skin to maybe have less pores? Or are you worried about your texture? Are you worried about your scarring? Firstly, find your concern. Like, what is truly my concern? Like, why do I go buy this product? It should have a little bit of concern, right? Once you have that concern, check to make sure that the product is meant to, resolve that concern. Like, there's products which are meant for dry skin. There's products that are meant for oily skin. There's products that are meant just to deliver for acne. So once you find the concern you have, and if you see that the product can help you, then give in. If the companies are doing their R&D, why can't we do our R&D before we buy the product as well?
I think that's a good start. You have the concern, then you go and, like how you have a sari, then you go and find the blouse for it. I'm
Yes.
sorry, I love metaphors.
Yes,
So likewise,
yes.
you find your concern and then go shop for products, not the other way around. Just a new product came in the market, you don't have to get the FOMO saying that, hey, there's something new. Should I give in? Should I try?
Yeah, find if it's your concern, if this is something you really need, and then go get it.
Why is that Korea has led the market when it comes to skincare products, in your opinion?
I think they have just a lot of dermatologists offering different services, and it's like every corner is offering this. Like, there's a whole beauty corner now they've made, right? So they've just like, if every second salon is offering skin tightening, laser, Botox, fillers, this, that, they've just kind of like taken over the market by making it a very normal thing. Right now here, if you go, how many salons offer laser hair removal? Not too many. Over there now, if out of 199 are offering it, it's just comfortable to go get that service, right? So I wouldn't say they're leading the market, but I think they're just educating the market that this option is available for you.
Also, is it true that in Korea or in East, we see or we hear they're extremely obsessed about the way the skin looks? I mean,
Yes, when I used to work in Estee Lauder almost like 12, 13 years ago, a lot of Asians would purchase. They used to be our biggest bulk buyers. We used to say, if you're looking for a good sale, Asians usually come buy skincare in bulk. So I think they do prioritize a lot of skincare naturally as well. And, we have to keep in mind that the food they eat is very healthy. Not Indo-Chinese I'm talking about, but like the actual Asian food. If you go in these Asian countries, it's very clean. They don't really masala up their food. Like, I have a lot of Asian friends because I live in a very diverse country. They say if you're eating broccoli, it should taste like broccoli. It should not taste like
your garam masala in there. Or the
Yes.
salt, or the
Yes.
masala shouldn't overtake. The vegetable needs to taste like a vegetable. So less masalas, less salt,
Yeah,
maintaining the flavor of the veggie.
veggie.
That's rule number one.
Rule number one.
And also,
And I think they're always drinking hot water, small cup of green tea when they're eating. So metabolism is really well for them. So they do very holistic way of doing this, right? So, and they're so protective about their skin. Like, you would notice Asian people always have umbrellas in summer. They wear a lot of sunscreen. They wear hats. They don't let sun UV rays really damage that for themselves. So I think the education is really up there in those countries about taking care of good skin health.
so when you say take care of your skin, these are the essentials. Yeah. After this comes the makeup. And before this comes the gut health, eating right. I mean, That's part of it. All right. How have you looked at the facial exercises that suddenly popped up? Like,
Yes, I haven't given in too much to it because I think if you generally work out, you are generally like a very fit person who keeps themselves mobile and eats really healthy. You, if you're working out generally, you don't really need to do specific facial exercises. Like just by doing facial exercises and not moving your body around and not eating the right foods, it's not going to change much. You cannot
it's a fad.
you cannot put a premium gas in a normal car and expect it to drive like a BMW. You have to make sure that you're doing all the right things for the result to
So
kick
you
in.
always look at the cherry on the cake and then we say, hey, let's eat the cherry.
That's it.
Since we already tapped into skincare while you were discussing your skin problems and then how you take care of it. For Indian skin, probably South Indian skin, any observations that you've had as to what should be a good routine, like any formula that you can give in which will cut through everybody?
Yeah, so I think if you cleanse your face both times, you use a good toner that would really help balance pH, and use a toner like if you're oily skin, maybe use a toner that would help, prevent oil seeping in through your face. That would help, like maybe some acid based toner like salicylic, glycolic based toners that would really help combat that. If you're on the dry skin, then use more of a hydration based toner that would really hydrate your skin, because cleanser strips away a lot of oils from the face, right? And I would suggest at evening time, if you have any concern like acne, scars, pigmentation, dryness, whatever your concern is, find a serum that can help combat that. One night serum you can add to your routine. Use a moisturizer and go to sleep. And in the morning, cleanse, tone, moisturize, and sunscreen. Sometimes you can find moisturizers that have sunscreen built in, so you don't need to do two things. It saves you time. So in the morning, it's okay if you're not layering up your product, just use a sunscreen directly that has a moisturizer built in. That also works. But I would highly suggest cleanser, toner, moisturizer is really important.
CTM.
Yes. And I would say at least once a week, if you cannot go get yourself facials, buy a good exfoliator and good masks and do it at home.
Now that masks are also a trend, you have all the flavors possible in the masks. Yeah, I saw the reaction when I said masks, that
The smile.
and the saliva that you just swallowed, because the flavors are like
Crazy.
coffee, green tea. Forget that, all the fruits are there in the mask. So do you really think it helps?
Your skin needs exfoliation. There's a lot of dead skin that's built up. Usually every 21 days, our skin naturally goes through a cycle. So that cycle kind of reduces as you're aging. If you notice kids' skin, it's so nice. They're so soft, there's no texture, no acne. With time, that reduces because their body is also reducing the capacity. Kids have so much more energy, right? So eventually that is reducing. That's why you need to kind of subside that from outside. So using a good exfoliator, and there's so much pollution here, using a good mask would really help that. And I currently just fell in love with Kama. Really good products.
I love their lip balm. I like it. It's quite good.
I like their masks.
You like them? Any personal favorites?
What is that? They have this like I don't know what the name is, but it's in a little tin. There's 3 kind of masks, and it's really good for oily skin. They said it's
So
good.
once a day?
No, once a week.
The mask only once a week?
Exfoliation and mask is only required once a week. You cannot strip your skin every day.
One savior for some, villain for some, retinol.
Retinol should be used under a medical director's advice. Okay, whether, I don't know how it works here, but we have like clinical estheticians there that do like chemical peels, microneedling, and things like that. So we always suggest, like, when you're getting onto like retinol, when you're getting into like deeper exfoliating products like mandelic acids, there's acids that would really peel your skin, right? So you want to make sure you're under a good medical director, somebody who can give you good advice on how to use, why to use, and like what are the do's and don'ts. Because if you don't wear sunscreen, if you overuse it, there's a lot of damage you could do as well. So And it's easily available now. You can just go buy it everywhere.
Everything is easily available. I mean, your peels, everything is right there.
Right
So
there.
do you
yeah.
think it's a scary development?
I think it's a good development, but I think the education is missing. So people just need to be more educated on what product to use, what to do, or there needs to be more clinics that, recommend these things before it, like, you go to a dermatologist when something is going wrong with your skin. Before you can go there, there is like clinics that you should be able to go to which can tell you what's a good skincare based on your skin type.
So you basically buy your skincare products not from your Nykas but from the dermatologist as to
Kind of like the medical directors. They have some brands that are exclusively sold.
there's one Dr. Shetty is here,
Mm-hmm.
who's quite renowned. He has his own products. Likewise, in the world, we have the Murad. Yeah, Dr. Murad, he was a dermatologist. We have that. And at the same time, we have some credible brands like Bioderma, Cetaphil, yeah.
Yeah.
So, in the world wherein you have credible brands
Mm-hmm.
and we have dermatologists who have come up with their own products. So, again, what theory do you go by when you're picking products? Again, apart from the need, all of that, is there any other filter or a tick that you check?
I usually just look for good products that are, cruelty free, and, products, if I could hopefully get my hands on products that have been like good dermatologically tested, like a good doctor has tested them, I would look for those things instead. I would stay away from fragrances in my product because I get really irritated if there's too much fragrance in my product. It's not good for the long run for your skin as well.
How so?
So it just like, when you're inhaling this fragrance all day, like it's not natural. So you want to kind of stay away from skincare that has too much fragrance in it.
So now I'm going to ask some questions or other doubts these guys have, which I'm going to represent. What are the common mistakes that you see the makeup artists do? A very broad question, but still feel free to choose your sharp edge as to what you want to pick on.
Sometimes I think not preparing them with the right skincare can be a very common mistake. It's just coming and coming into the knowledge that you need to prep the skin before doing their makeup. And sometimes we just, notice that this product is being recommended by all the makeup artists and we'll just put it on the customer and then later realize that this was not the right fit.
Just for audience's knowledge sake, what is the right skin prep
For a bride?
before makeup? Let's say for a casual occasion first.
Casual.
Or is it different for the bridal look?
Sometimes yes, because we spend a lot more time because it has to be perfect. It's her wedding day, right? So we'll do a lot of depuffing the skin, take a jade roller that is cold, put a mask, put hydration, give it a good moisturizer and primer and set it up. And then for a casual day, I usually just say a good moisturizer is really important and a good primer is really important, and stay away from sunscreens that are very oily or sunscreens that go with a no-show sunscreen. Don't go with a sunscreen that will turn your makeup grey.
You spoke about jade rollers.
Yes.
My husband used to make fun of it. He just said, it's just falling for another marketing gimmick. I want to hear from you. Since you've seen more, you've been through more. Does it work?
So it's, there's muscles on our face and there is a technique to doing massages across those muscles to relax. When you go for a massage, you're basically relaxing that muscle. If something hurts, your mom is always like, let me dabaw it for you or something. So same thing for your face. You're taking a jade roller, you're using the pressure. And because these rollers can be jade, rose quartz, or good kind of stone, if especially they're cold, they'll really help depuff the skin. And when you massage, it relaxes that muscle. Usually we're very clenched up here. This is a very clenched zone we have, right? So when somebody's giving massage, sometimes we just relax our muscles, and that really helps with a good makeup application because she's not going to be stressed.
So it works.
It works, yeah.
So
if
you
you're
have
pressing
to
the right,
refrigerate it because it has to be cold?
It's better if it's cold.
And how do you roll it?
roll it upwards, and make sure you're following your muscle anatomy of the face. Like, don't just roll it blindly, right? Like, you want to roll it, make sure you're massaging these points really, really well. You're stressing on under eyes, going upwards. That would really
I'm
help.
sure there are a lot of videos. So just follow
Mm-hmm.
the pattern.
Follow patterns, yeah.
So the common mistake is prepping the skin.
Yeah.
So you did dig deep on what all it can lead you into.
Mhm.
So apart from this, what other common mistakes do you see in makeup?
Not matching the foundation right, or completely changing the color of your client, making them look brighter or darker. So those, I think, just appreciate the color you are and match it directly to that.
One makeup product every woman should have in her collection, or every cosmetologist should.
A good lipstick. Your favorite lipstick. I think we have grown up seeing our moms just wear lipstick and go out, and we also some days, wear a lip balm with a little bit of color. It just boosts your confidence.
Any special way or a hack that you have which can make the makeup look long lasting?
Yes, it is that I really take the powder with powder puff and really press it into the skin, and I apply less makeup. That's usually the way to go about it. Like, do as least as possible, and it'll serve the purpose.
How do I choose my look? For instance, today we have too many 3D
Airbrush.
airbrush, matte finish, bridal, casual, photo shoot. So you have these multiple themes coming out.
I think there is different options definitely that is available in the market, but I would go with what looks best on me. What is something I want to see myself in. So I would always tell my brides to send me 3 or 4 photos of the kind of makeup they want done to me, and then I can study and do my analysis on like what she really prefers.
That's a good tip. Also, any tip for makeup application for people with sensitive skin?
If your skin is really sensitive, then go with more skincare based makeup. Like, instead of using a foundation, maybe use a tinted moisturizer. Instead of using a lipstick, use a lip balm. Instead of using heavier blush, maybe use like cheek tint, something that is healthier for your skin.
Again, a common question, but something which has to be addressed. With so many makeup products again in the market, some are represented by popular celebrities, some by big corporations. How does one know this is a makeup brand for me? Is that the price that decides it? Is it the word of mouth? Is it the review? Is it I don't know what?
I think it's usually the relatability, like how can you connect with that product? Like, is the color of the lipstick really something you want? Or maybe your community, everybody in your community has that product, or maybe you follow this influencer who's really telling you to go buy that product, right? So there's a lot of different options, but usually how I choose product for myself is like, I see this is my skin type. These are the 4 options that are available, and then I'll see like, what my pocket really wants me to have. And sometimes I will choose skincare, like, the benefit of it over the trend.
Best advice that you would want to give for somebody who's just building their makeup kit?
I would suggest, every time you do makeup, you take up some money and buy a product. It's like reinvesting back into your business pretty much, right? So every time you get a job, take some of that money and invest back into your business. And in the beginning, my good advice always is have good foundations, good primers, good concealers, and good powders, because the base is set really well.
Because the foundation is very important for the
building stage, right? So those are very important. I think the eyeshadow, the blushes, you can kind of go with the basic ones as well. They'll still do a decent job.
But spend your monies on the foundation, primer, the powder,
and the concealers.
One more doubt here. You have the white powder and the yellow, the banana
powder. Yeah.
So how does one know what's for me?
The translucent usually works around light to medium skin tone, and then the banana is usually from medium to dark skin tones. so it doesn't turn very gray. And then that yellow really helps, like it kind of covers dark circles really well. It like brighten that up.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Since you also said lipstick is your go-to, I mean your favorite product.
Mm-hmm.
This is a very controversial question in terms of, how do I decide, what lipstick suits me? Because I might love Ruby Woo, but it's calling for attention. It's screaming for attention. I mean, there are multiple options, right? Like the nudes, the
Yeah.
mauves, and then. But
Mhm.
usually, is there a template? These are 3 essentials that you should have in terms of lipsticks.
Yeah, I would say have a good red that you want. Some days you want to be bold, you want to make a statement to places you go. Have a really good mauve, because on the Asian skin tone, the brown skin tone, the Indian skin tone, a good mauve is always like, it'll always hit the place, like it'll just be so beautiful. And a very good soft nude, so it can be more of a peachier undertone, it can be more of a brownish undertone, so that is a total preference of yours.
Like top that MAC gets. What I'm wearing is top right now, so
Taupe, yeah, taupe, warm
I don't know
teddy,
how it's
mid.
pronounced, but
Yeah, so many different options, right? But I think, every woman has this one color that they really like, and most of her lipsticks are probably around the same color. So
I can.
she'll buy that lipstick from different brands, but it'll be the same color. And I am, the victim of that as well, I should say, that I have so many different brands. But sometimes when I'm choosing the color, I'm like, why did I buy the same color again? So we all tend to have that one favorite color, but we'll just think that it's a newer lipstick and purchase it.
Same color or the same family.
Yeah, family.
My choice will always be around that only.
Yeah,
Probably
neutral.
lighter, whatever.
Mm,
Yeah. So thanks for the suggestions. And lastly, what's your thought on full glam look?
I think it's beautiful if that's something you want.
What is a full glam look?
Full glam is like, when you are fully like, lashes, liner, mascara, eyebrows, blush, lipstick, contour, highlight. It's fully like, like full done up for like a wedding setting kind of thing, right? It's a very heavier glam that
And
we
with
do.
the highlighters.
The highlighters and everything, like what you see on Instagram usually, like, that whole transformation that
And
happens.
lens also something.
Lenses, yes, right. So that is a full glam. If this is something my customer really loves, I would do it for them. I usually go with their personality, like if they don't wear makeup on general basis, you do a full glam on them, they're not going to be comfortable in it, right? And if somebody wears makeup on general basis, like 5 times a week to the office, and you do a soft glam on them, which is very just subtle, something that they're wearing every day anyways, then they might be like, almost like under impressed with that. So it totally depends on your customer's preference. And I think that's very important for a makeup artist to understand, is the personality and the style of their customers.
Personality, the style, and understanding the sentiments.
Yeah.
And also the money part of it.
Mhm.
So today we have people, like for my own wedding, I think in 2013, I had gone to Mac and I didn't mind spending 10,000 bucks for my big day.
Mhm.
But today the times have changed. So how has it changed? I mean, what's the kind of money one should be spending?
I don't think you can put a
Is
number
there a,
on it.
is there a
Yes.
number that one can put?
I think people are spending upwards of 1 lakh. People are spending 20,000. People are spending 50,000. So I think it totally depends on how you're budgeting it. And then for some people, I think it's very important to have their makeup done by a certain person, because everybody in the community has done that, right?
It's a skill.
Skill. It's a
popularity of
skill.
the person,
Popularity of
yes.
the skill, and it's how you perceive yourself. Usually, yes, you book your makeup artist for a certain thing. Her popularity, maybe your community, word of mouth, but something you always see is what she's done, and you kind of picture yourself in that already before you get to her, right? There's a vision in your mind you have for yourself, so that's what you're basically after.
And should I also check products in terms of, what are you using? Because, that also speaks
volumes. Yeah.
Oh, little
I
volume.
usually I don't know how it happens there, but we do a consultation before we book an appointment for makeup. Like, we'll have a 20-30 minute call or a Zoom call or in-person appointment where we'll go over what you want done. And then I can suggest a few things to them. Usually, like, I used to be particular about brides, drinking hot water a few days before their wedding, not eating junk food, not consuming too much alcohol, not smoking too much. Like, there's things that I always make suggestions for, and that will improve their skin health. And I'll always let them know that this is something I'm planning to use on you, because I carry a variety of different products, and this is my reasoning behind it, and we'll go back and forth from there. So I would say have at least a 10-minute call and understand, what she's going to do, what she's going to use. And I think now it's on social media, they're already telling what brand they're using. It's a way of selling themselves as well. So it's very different now than it was, as you said, 10 years ago. Like, when I started makeup, only moms or the sisters or the bride would get makeup done. In today's world, I think every guest that walks in has makeup done usually.
True that.
Yeah.
So do you still do makeup personally, attend weddings, you go out, you do that?
No, actually, I stopped that a few years ago now. I got really busy with education and college and running a business. And so, yeah, then I had to give time to my own family as well. So I don't do brides anymore unless it's my really close family or my best friend's baby shower. I did her makeup. That was the last makeover I did. Or I'll do portfolio work, which I have to for work. And yeah, celebrities sometimes, if they are sitting on my list, I've manifested them, then I'll do that.
Oh, yeah? I'm curious. Whom did you manifest apart from Diljit?
I think, I first really wanted to just kind of be into the makeup for what do you call it, like the movie and the music industry. I really wanted to see what's different and how this operates. So I kind of was like, I really want to have at least 1 or 2 music videos on my belt. But probably did like 10 or 12 by the end of when I started getting into it, especially over in Alberta where I'm from.
This was way back in?
This is like 7-8 years ago when I first started kind of warming myself up to it. So that was something I really wanted to do. Very different experience, like in a bride, you get them ready and you're done. You go home, right? And now you're stuck with your person all day doing touch-ups because they're under lights, they're on a break, the look changes, the set changes. Sometimes, they'll be shooting morning wake up and then they'll be shooting something else. In the evening, they're shooting completely something else because it's a whole scene that is collaborated, right? So the whole changes behind it, and then you're there for 16, 17 hours, and sometimes one take is not right, so you're just there. So it's a very different experience.
Any Indian actors, celebrities, musicians that you've worked with?
I worked with mostly Punjabi artists, Jassi Gill, Prem Tillo, Sidhu Moosewala Productions, so like different production houses over in North India I worked with.
Now with the elephant of the room, that's AI. AI coming in.
Yes.
How has it affected the makeup world? Because some parts of it we all can see. You have Nykaa, Sephora, these kind of platforms are trying visual try-ons. That's one. Apart from that, anything else that could be a shocking revelation for us?
Now people can ask AI for a skincare routine for them. They can just be like, ChatGPT, this is my skin, this is what I have, like give me some answers, right? So definitely there is, this industry is being revolutionized very differently now with AI. I think it's a helpful tool. It reduces a lot of basic work. Like you can just try on makeup from your computer and you know how this lipstick will look on you or how this blush is sitting on you. So there's definitely the positive side to it as well. But I think one thing that sometimes missed from it is human touch. Like just speaking to that person who can just maybe tell you that this really looks beautiful and kind of like give you that confident approach to buy it instead of just AI being like, this is how it looks.
Probably a perspective.
It's
because
missing.
there it's just one paragraph coming in and saying, this is ABCD.
Yeah.
But here there is years of experience, multiple people's emotions sitting in you.
Yeah.
That comes
We
across.
forget the emotional side of this business, like when you're doing makeup for brides, it's her very big day. It's a lot of sentiment, a lot of emotion involved in this, right? So there's a lot of AI can't replace that.
And also, one thing is that today a scriptwriter's job is replaced by ChatGPT. Probably a makeup artist's life, not sure if it can replace.
I don't think for now until we get robots.
Robotic surgeries are happening, but I'm not sure if there comes a day where the robots are standing and doing the makeup.
Yeah, there might be a day. If they can come serve in a restaurant, then there definitely can be.
There is always
There's always
a
hope.
possibility. There's always a hope in there. What's like a day in your college, like the GD college?
GD college.
Back in Canada?
Yes. So I'll wake up early. I'll do my routine and I'll go to work usually, grab a coffee on the way if I have some time for it. And we'll start in the morning by, I usually have to get to India calls because my team is in India. So we discuss a few things, get things rolling. I'll look at calendars for everybody. I'll make sure all the students' things are prepared. My team will start walking in by then. We'll all have a quick chit chat, get started with the day. Teachers will go teach because all the instructors have different courses. We have 6-7 courses we teach. All the instructors will go into their places and teach, and they'll take care of students. I'll usually help the admin staff. Some classes I teach still, like makeup, I'll help with. There's business seminars that I conduct in the school. So those things I'll take a look at. Usually after work, I go work out. That's something I do 3 to 4 times a week. I take care of that for sure. I go home now, I'm married, so I have to go home, take care of my house, my cooking, and basic house stuff as well. And before I sleep, I give it 10-15 minutes to myself just to reflect on my day.
Wow, very sorted,
Very
very
sorted.
compartmentalized.
Yeah, very sorted. And I still once a week I'll go out, I'll do my I love being in the nature, so I'll plan those things. I'll travel, I'll visit different countries. So it's not that I don't enjoy life, but I just do my basics and then I also do the other things as well.
Nice. You spoke about instructors in your college, right? So how many instructors are there? What's the current strength of the college?
So there's about 10 to 12 instructors that have different programs they teach. We have massage therapy that's being conducted by different instructors. We have a clinical aesthetics that's more of your hydrofacial, microneedling, chemical peels, deeper skincare. So that's conducted by different group of instructors. Then we have the basic cosmetology esthetician course, like manicure, pedicure, facials. That's conducted by 3 to 4 instructors as well. And then there is nails that have their own instructors. So everybody has their own
So you're going to get the same curriculum, same sectors, can I call them?
Yeah. Same sectors, yes.
So all of it is going to come to India, the GD college in Bangalore. So tell me one thing, I'm sure a lot of beauticians, makeup artists are watching this right now. In India, there are a lot of these salon spas, chains,
Yes.
Could be the Green Trends, could be YLGs, could be Tony and Guy, many. I mean, little understanding that I have, because obviously before I used to go to these salons when I had an event, but today India has changed.
Oh, yes.
In a week, I think a woman will go to the salon at least twice, probably, to get a blow dry.
One day we had to get models ready, and this model was like, oh, I had asked my team to make sure that her hair is washed. She's like, yeah, I'll get my head washed on the way and blow dried. That was so casual. It was just a part of the routine, as you're saying. Yeah.
So that's what it is today. So, so we have some conditioning which is coming from the chain side, right? For example, they'll have their own routine, they'll have their own training stuff which is probably given. So my question is, for somebody who's watching that, what value add is, what value adds will they be looking forward to when they sign this up? Which is again going to get used in the Indian markets only.
Yes, so I think the biggest benefit to people who are going to employ students is that they're going to be good, well trained. they're going to be more comfortable doing services, and they're not going to have to spend a lot of time doing basic trainings with them. Maybe they have to teach them their protocol because every company has a way they do stuff, but I think that'll save them a lot of time in the beginning of training, right? And I notice sometimes here is that you get hired at a salon and then you watch what the owners are doing and then you start doing that thing, especially tier 2, tier 3 cities, right? So I think once they're educated, that whole part of you training them will go away, because now we work with different chains over there. They'll send us emails, okay, we are now hiring, like we work with Mac. I do master classes for them and they come to master classes for us, and usually when they're hiring they give us the first call that we're looking for, this many people for this province. Do you have any students you want to refer? And this is how they apply, because they know that we've set this right benchmark, so when the students go to them, it's a very easy transition. And I think that'll help businesses here as well, because the students will be well trained to just kind of start working. And every business needs employees, right? Like people are always transitioning to their own business, women are getting pregnant, or things are coming up in life, or you're expanding, you're looking for more employees. So that would really help.
Any number that one can think of, today I want to join the course, finish, what's the kind of money that I can start off earning?
I think most people get in this industry thinking that they'll start making 1 lakh like the most popular makeup artist is. But they forget that maybe she's been in the business for 10, 15 years. That's why she's charging that. So I think when you get into the industry, first work on polishing your skill. Then the money will follow.
What's the dark side of the beauty industry?
The no weekends, working long hours, working early mornings, having no schedule to life is hard on days. Like I have done brides where I never had summers off. I was always Friday, Saturday, Sunday booked 4 a.m., 3 a.m., evenings for reception. So that's tough. And one more thing is that you're standing on your feet and doing makeup. Your back, your body, your feet take a toll on it as well, especially when you're doing 10, 12 makeups a day.
Mm-hmm.
There is that physical aspect in it as well that people just don't think about.
Any word of advice or caution for people who wanting to be cosmetologists / beauticians and have a flourishing career in the beauty industry?
It's a very rewarding career. Honestly, I think as seeing a job, you'll get paid a certain salary. Okay, you can maybe increase that salary over time with the experience. When it comes to skill, you can all of a sudden upscale your paycheck. It's a good transition that happens with that upgrading your skill. So I would suggest spend time harvesting and improvising that skill, because that will pay you in the long run. And it's a very skill-based industry. It's what you see is what sells. So you want to make sure that you're improvising every day and learning. Every time you do a makeup, take a photo and almost like critique yourself. What could get better? That's how you'll get better.
I like the term harvesting. All skills are to be harvested.
Yeah.
So it's very nice, not just beautician or cosmetologist. Now any skill-based professions are watching this. I think there is word of caution, probably a perspective to look through.
Yeah. See, like when a chef is working at someone else's restaurant, before he opens his own restaurant, he goes through that whole experience in time of perfecting his recipes, getting good recipes out, or perfecting his skill, or maybe it's just cooking the egg at the right temperature before it's poached perfectly. So same goes for us. It's spending that time.
Now the only thing that I got to say is good luck with your first baby in Bangalore.
Yes.
I mean, yeah, in India.
In India, yes.
Yeah, the first one. I mean, there's already one in Canada. So what's your frame of mind like looking at the Indian market, because you're a Indian at heart?
Yes.
So your career blossomed in Canada. How are you looking at the starting point in India for you?
I think I'm seeing that India is very diverse. It's a different market right now. And, I'm just starting to penetrate and kind of get my feet wet and see the market. But I think India is ready for a change. Like, see, India has adapted technology so well. India has adapted to internet so well. And I think India is ready for a change in education as well, where India's education is going to be accepted globally.
Right. So this is the right time to be for you to probably see where this goes.
Yes, I think the time you decide to do something is always the right time to do it. So,
Wow. Keep the spirit going. And with, I guess, 15, 16 years in the industry, your curiosities have led you to what you are today. And what next?
next is India right now for education, and then wherever life takes me. I think one day I would want to just, have a very quiet space in life where I have a farm where I grow vegetables at home and I eat well nutritious meals. I spend time in the sun and I live a very simple life. That's
Wow.
my end goal, which is so funny. Like, we're doing all this to get to live a basic life.
Basically, you're hustling to have a peaceful life. It's like the oxymoron.
Kind of, yes.
Right.
Yeah, like a life away from the limelight, or a life, like, I still would love to teach people. I would love to support women, to do something in their life. I respect every girl who decides to get up every day and wants to, do something more than just maybe. I'm not saying cooking, cleaning at home is a bad thing. My mom is a housewife. I respect her a lot. She's the reason we're all here. But I respect somebody who wants to do something, and I want to make sure that I'm able to support women, because I think a lot of the times, other people just don't want that person to grow because all of a sudden they start seeing competition. But I think, it's time that we all support each other and, we all grow together. It's a huge market. It's, as I said, $1 trillion industry. There's room for everybody. But, like, imagine the possibility if we were all supportive of each other.
It can snowball faster.
Yeah.
Because I also feel a lot of women still in India are told to do few things. They don't have the freedom, or some don't even want to think on their own.
Yeah. It's important to have your own vision. It's important to have your own preferences. It's important to have an opinion, actually. Like, I will go home and cook if I feel like it. It's not just my obligation, right? And I have a very supportive husband. Like, I had no complaints. Like, he'll help me in things. He's an amazing person, right? But of course, he also grew up in a Western culture, so he's very accepting of, like, the whole equality in the society. But I noticed there's places where, you're still, my own uncles and aunts that, still require a woman to do certain things. And, I think it's time that, we just accept that if both of us are working, we should have that equality where both of us can make that choice and say, I don't want to come home and do this. Maybe I'm tired, A man can come home and watch TV after work. How often do you see women doing that? They take care of their children, they take care of everything else, which is beautiful, amazing, tremendous that they do that. But I think we can buy ourselves that option. If we worked really hard, maybe we could get some help at home as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Very well said, very well put. What you love has always been the anchor, probably for everybody's life. Not the stereotypes, not what the world is going to tell you, or not where the world is headed. Those are all the byproducts of somebody's spark.
Yeah, it's what you really truly love doing will take you places farther than you can think that it will.
Lastly, how can women in India, rather Bangalore first, access your college and training? What part of it? First, let's talk about the physical aspect. Like somebody who's in Bangalore or who wants to come to Bangalore, wanting to explore this. How does it pan out?
We would, once we have a location here, we will start, having that up on our social media and our pages everywhere, that where we are located. We would keep admin staff for you to come in and meet and greet and explore the options for what you want to do. And then you can look at the financial side of it as well. We'll bring some financial aid and help that we can. So there will be different options given to everybody. And I would suggest, there is going to be program coordinators that will help you choose the right program. So you will go through that consultation with them and then choose the right fit for you.
So on Insta, you're GD College?
Yes,
Okay. And personally, you're Jasreen
Ryan.
Ryan.
Yes.
RAIEN. All right. Website is again GD College.
.ca, yes.
And how about online training? Since it's makeup, it's cosmetology, how does that pan out?
We are actually just coming up with a learning module system as well, which is online to cater to people who cannot travel, who have kids, or who might have home restrictions or other things that come in factor of getting to learn. So we will have some online modules coming up pretty soon as well for those who want to learn from home and maybe just come in for exams or model shoot days and do it that way. So I think in today's world you have to appreciate the presence of internet and digitalization, so we will do the same thing so we can cater to everybody.
Amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, through our conversation so far, I kind of read you like a book in multiple chapters and saw the index of what this human is made of. Lovely meeting you. Wishing you more, I wouldn't want to call luck. Okay, in some sense, luck in Sanskrit means adrushta. Adrushta means something which you can't see, which again you coin it as the word luck. So probably I'll wish you more persistence, perseverance, focus, grit, and everything else I'm sure you have.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for having me.
And of course, giving you this book, The Confidence Code. Not sure if you've read this. This book, it's by Katty Kay and Claire Shipman. Apparently, it's New York's bestseller. But the topic is the science and art of self-assurance, what women should know. Which I'm sure you've
Amazing.
figured it out yourself by now.
Amazing.
But any new perspectives that can come in handy, there you go. So
Thank
while I
you.
sign this, Jasreen, could you nominate 3 personalities for us whom we should explore calling on the seat?
What do they do career-wise, or?
Anything is fine. Any 3 personalities from different walks of life that you think should be on Just Curious.
I think, film and TV definitely always gets explored. But I think maybe a woman who is doing something out of the house, like maybe a tiffin business or something small, she's maybe making a little difference in life, would be something good to explore, hearing her perspective. And then, I am into music a lot as well. So maybe somebody with musical background, and yeah, those are some perspectives that I like to hear as well. And also maybe, people who are running salons here. What is their perspective like? What do they feel with this industry, where it's going to take, and the new curve, the new wave that is coming in cosmetology is very different now, right? Like a lot of things are accepted that they were never accepted before, and how are they coping up with bringing changes? Like all of a sudden, hydrofacial is like the thing to get done. Nobody wants a basic facial anymore before their wedding. So how are they coping up with those changes?
Any tidbits being dropped on what's the next big thing in the beauty industry, cosmetology?
I think it's already there, like the whole Botox filler, cosmetic surgeries, like all these changes that people are physically making, alterance of appearance. So that's really big right now.
What used to be at the creams and at the parlor level has now gotten into the clinic level, wherein your fillers, your glutathions,
Yeah.
your microblading, basically needles. It's not just the first level, it's gone down
Down to
below the skin level.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
I'm sure the doctors have, I think doctors are very sandwiched, I feel. Some things they don't want to say all out, in the public, saying, it's fine, you want to look good, you want to look better, you do it. Because in India there is something called as a coined term called as natural beauty. People want to believe that beauty is natural. be it
Yes.
complexion, be it the way you look, or going under the knife, and all of this is always controversial.
Yeah.
I think that's why it is always a taboo and people do it in dark.
Yes, I think it's getting to a phase where people are starting to accept it, and you would see in the next phase where people would openly say that, I got this procedure done, or I changed this about myself. Like right now, it's under the dark, but I think it will come to a surface. Like it's so commonly available now that people will start accepting that they're having this done. It's already happening in the Western world where people, like my friends are like, I'm getting fillers. My nieces are like, auntie, do you do this? Do you do that? Do you do laser hair removal for the face? I don't want facial hair, and they're only 18. So it's coming to very good acceptance in society, and I think with time you'll see more and more people are readily okay to say that, yay, I got this done.
Looking forward to it. I think we'll live to see it.
Yeah, I think beauty is definitely, I always say it's, whatever you do should enhance your beauty. It shouldn't change or alter who you are. So if it makes you feel confident, if it makes you feel beautiful, do it. But don't do it because your friend has it done or you've seen somebody else. FOMO. Don't fall for those things. If you feel that this is the right thing for you to do, then do it.
And also don't get addicted, because once you see the taste of it,
it's expensive to keep up.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
I've written few words, which means, dear Jasreen, which says rather, dear Jasreen, you have a beautiful mind and a vision which is your fire. Keep painting the world. Beautiful is what I could think of. I think rest you all have it sorted.
Thank you so much for having me.
And for people who are watching us in English, wondering the whole conversation is in English, that is because she can't speak Kannada, and secondly, she can't understand Kannada as well. Hence, there is no questioning in Kannada and then that getting lost in translation, or me explaining the natural conversation just getting lost or sounding very scripted is when, I thought, let's do this in English. So
I think next time I'll come around, I'll learn a few things.
Looking forward to it. Khandita. Khandita is a start. Khandita means definitely.
Perfect.
There you go. This is the confidence code.
Awesome. Thank you.
We have a hamper from Mirasi. A hamper which has some healthy treats. It has a coconut palm sugar, which is low glycemic index thing for you. And this is, one second, turmeric from Lacadong. It's called Lacadong turmeric powder because this is from the lush hills of Meghalaya, and this is from Western Ghats, peppercorns. And there you go.
Thank
Taste
you.
of Karnataka for you.
Love and light. Thank you so much. Perfect.
And here you have
The beauty
memory foam. Amazing, Jasreen.
Thank you.
Thanks again. So I guess that was today's episode about so much that we digged in deep about what is it to be a cosmetologist, what is the beauty standard, what's the personal journey of Jasreen, and women empowerment, products, beauty, looks, hacks, whatnot. Do let us know what's your favorite part of our conversation in the comment section, and also quick recommendations on whom we should call here, from which industry, and what topics we should be exploring. Until next time, of course, like my favorite tagline goes, continue to stay curious in life. This is Rapid Rashmi signing out of Just Curious, and thank you, Jasreen.
Thank you,
And
Rashmi.
do well and see you soon.
Thank
And
you so
I'll
much.
definitely see your work soon.
Yes, thank you for having me. I
Thank
really
you.
appreciate your time today.
Thank you so much. The
Thank you.
respect is mutual. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.